Hi everyone, in this tutorial I want to show you how to start creating stylized material in Blender Eevee render engine. It is a beginner-friendly tutorial, so if you want to create some cell-based shading, you can learn a few useful tips and tricks here. Let's jump into new blend file and start making those material that you can see on the screen right now. So this tutorial will be divided into 4 main parts. We'll start with a simple material that reacts to light sources. We will also create a custom material for the ground to enable changing shadow color. In the second step, we will add some extra effect to those color transitions lines. Then, we will add some stripes to the shadows and introduce some extra color variations. Lastly, we will add some extra Voronoi effect, bloom and extra details. So without further ado, let's start with our first material. I will just create a simple sphere and a ground plane, and I will also add a sunlight lamp and rotate it to create a nice shadows. To create those sharp color transitions, first we need some information about light sources. Instead of using the default principled BSDF for that, I will use something much simpler, diffuse BSDF. The simple nodes just give us a simple gray material, but we only need this to create a mask for the shadows, so it is perfect for that. Let's add a shader to RGB node. We can just drag and drop it from the output of the node and then search for it. What this node allows us to do is basically change the shader to color. This means that we can now work on it like normal colors. We can use color ramps, math nodes, mix it with textures and much more. We want to separate lighter areas from those with self-shadows, so let's use a less than node. I will duplicate it 3 times, and now, if I change the threshold values, as you can see, we have black and white mask for different brightness levels. Exactly what you wanted. So now, we just need to use those 3 masks to mix some colors. For that, let's add a mix RGB node and plug the first mask into its factor input. If I preview it now, as you can see, we can change colors for anything we like. I want to create this orange-red material, so let's choose a different shade of orange. Now, we can do this again with another mix node plugged into a different mask. But this time, we won't use the 2 colors. For one of the input, I will plug the output from our previous nodes. As you can see now, I can mix between 3 different shades. Great! So the last step is to use our third mask to add extra highlights to our material. And that's it for the first material. As you can see, it's really simple to make this basic cell shading, and you can create as many shades as you want. We can use the same technique for the ground plane, but this time with just a single mask that will separate shadows. Okay, great. Let's duplicate our plane and sphere, and also duplicate both materials so we can edit them independently. As you can see, those transition areas between colors are perfectly straight now. I would like to add some extra wiggly elements to make it less perfectly straight, like it came from a computer. To do this, I can plug something into the normal input of our diffuse node. Normal maps tell Blender at which direction light should bounce from the object. By default, the sphere would look like that. But with some noise-based normal maps, it looks much more interesting. Let's create a normal map by using a noise texture. We can preview it and use the shortcut Ctrl-T to plug the texture coordinates and mapping node. You need to have the Node Triangle add-on enabled in Blender Preferences to make this shortcut work. I will choose object coordinate and play with the scale of my noise. To actually connect this to the normal input, I will use a bump node that will allow me to create a procedural normal map based on height. As you can see now, we have something going on the surface. We can control the strength of this effect by using the strength parameter. If I preview our results after color mixing, as you can see, we have some nice transitions between colors. So this will be it for stage 2 in terms of our sphere. Let's add some extra details to our shadows. Maybe you want to add some extra texture to the shadows part. For example, I will create some stripes. To do this, I will simply add a wave texture and plug object coordinates into it. To create nice colors, I will use a greater than node and a mix RGB node. Now we can create a nice reddish stripes. To actually use it in our shadow area, I will simply plug it as our darker red color, and that's it. We can play with the rotation under the mapping node to create better results. So in the third step, I want to change two things: add more details to our color transition and also add some color variation to our whole material. To do this, let's once again duplicate our objects and materials. To add color variation, we will need some black and white noise texture. I want to create a little bit more complex result, so I will use both noise texture and a Voronoi texture. I want to create a little bit more interesting Voronoi, so first let's plug texture coordinates into it. Now I want to add extra randomness, and to do this we can mix the texture coordinates with the noise texture just like this. With a mix node, I can control the strength of this noise effect. Now, to add this color variation, I will use the color output from the Voronoi texture. To have better control over contrast, I will plug it into the color ramp node, which allows me to adjust the contrast and colors. With that mask prepared, we can add a last node to create color variations, which is the hue saturation value node. Let's plug our mask into it and reduce the value. As you can see now, we have a nice variation in color on our whole material. Perfect. We can actually reuse that same mask to add extra details to our color change areas. Let's just duplicate the bump node and plug it like this. Now we can plug another mask into the height input and control the effect with the strength slider. So that's it for our third material. The last one will be about extra details and different effects. One useful technique that we can use is to use our current material output as a simple color map for a principled BSDF node. It might give you a really interesting effect. For example, we can now use some normal maps to create additional effects, like with a Voronoi texture. Let's add a Voronoi texture node, set it to smooth F1, and plug its position output into a normal map node. Now, plug it into the principled BSDF, and as you can see, we have pretty interesting results. One thing that bugs me is that the material is really dark now. We can fix it pretty easily. Let's just add a hue saturation value node just before here. Now we can significantly increase the value, and one other thing that we can do is to plug this into Emission and increase the strength a little bit. Now we have nice bright material. Secondly, an interesting thing that we can do is to add emission to our highlight color part. To do this, I will duplicate the whole mask generation part from here and adjust values to create a highlight mask. Now we can add a math node to maintain our global emission that makes our material brighter, and to increase the strength of our highlight, we can use a multiply node just before here. To better see the effect, we can activate the bloom option of the Eevee render engine. The one thing to remember is that we can actually convert this shader to RGB once again. Now, for example, we can add similar stripes like on the ground. Let's add a wave texture node and connect it to a texture coordinate. Choose the window option to create those parallel to view lines. And now we can use a greater than node to create the right contrast. Now, based on our previous examples, we can create a shadow mask. By multiplying the shadow mask with our stripes, we can have a perfect black and white image that we can use as a darkening mask for our whole material. To do that, let's add a hue saturation value node here and plug our mask as a factor. Change the value to adjust the strength of the effect. So this is our final material. As you can see, these materials works not only on a sphere, but on something more complex too, like Blender Suzanne monkey. I hope these few techniques that I showed you in this video will be useful for your future project. If you want to support my channel, you can check out my Blender add-ons and generators, linked in the description. Thanks again for watching, see you again soon, and bye!